My name's Nicole Servinskas. I've been going to Beacon since fall of 2016. I grew up going to church in the Catholic faith. I remember from being very small that hymns would always bring me to tears. And what I didn't know about that was that it was God's words and that those lyrics were Him speaking to my heart. But it would be many years later that I came to really know Him. I was after I had my family, my kids. I was looking for a place to get my kids involved in a church community because it just seemed like a nice, wholesome thing to do where they could learn values. And I was trying a bunch of different churches. And my younger son and his best friend were having a joint birthday party. And so his friend's mom was over and we just happened to start talking about going to church. And she said, I just started going to this great church. It's right up the road. It's Beacon. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. And yeah, that's how I ended up here. I just remember walking in and seeing people genuinely seem to know each other. And that was so striking to me because every other church that I had gone to, it's like you go in and you go out. And I didn't grow up in New York. I was looking for community. I was looking for real, genuine relationship. And I wasn't sure what these people had going on here, but I was definitely interested and curious. So I kept coming back. I kept picking up the breadcrumbs that they were leaving with, serve a ministry, join an Alpha course. So as I had mentioned, I was just picking up the breadcrumbs as they were saying, hey, do this next, go to a discipleship class. Why don't you join a small group? And I was really reluctant with the small group because I just interpreted it like it would be like a Bible study. And I never really read the Bible. So I was very reluctant, but I was really comfortable with the friends that had invited me to come to church, and it was at their house. And what impacted me the most was not their knowledge of scripture, even though that was so eye-opening and beautiful, but it was how this intergenerational, multicultural group of people were just kind of doing life together and knowing each other for real. They knew each other in their own unique ways. They accepted each other and loved each other. So when you are hearing the gospel and you're seeing that, it's like an experience that puts it all together. And that was my small group, and it still is, and I still love it. A lot of the people change sometimes, but it's still the same for me. Yeah, they're my best friends. Yeah, I always had that. I'm an only child, and I always had that longing in my heart for to just be who I am, to be accepted for who I am, and not the things that I do wrong or that are wrong with me, to just be okay, but that someone would meet me in grace with that, and that I could offer them the same thing. And that's how those relationships just continue to grow. that you can faux pas, or you can, word vomit, or you can just have a really bad day or a really bad season, where you're taking more than you're giving, and they don't go away. And then before you know it, you turn around and you're on the mountaintop, and you get to be there for someone else. So besides like my family, they're really important people to me in my life. So I think it was going to small group. I didn't yet know Jesus, but I think that's where I met him, because of that experience of seeing and hearing simultaneously. Then I decided to be baptized, and it was then that I gained a confidence in my faith, where when I stood and gave my testimony in front of the congregation, and it was at the beach, so we were in the water, and some of the people who were instrumental in leading me to him, they were there in the water with me, and it's still a moment that like overwhelms me to think about, because I think that I really did leave, like, the old me died there, and it seems very cliche and Christian cliche, I guess, but ever since that moment, like, there was nothing else I wanted to do but love him and show other people how good he is. It was challenging at times because I believed a lot of lies about God. I didn't think that he was someone who really cared a lot about me. I always believed in him. I couldn't deny creation. I couldn't deny that there was something, and I think that's what kept drawing me closer, or at least kept drawing in my curiosity to keep looking and seeking. But I did believe a lot of lies that the enemy told me, that I just didn't, about my identity, about my value, about others' identity and value. And the thing about my small group was that they modeled Jesus by correcting those thoughts at like a rate that I could stand, right? At like a rate that I could tolerate, that I would just keep coming back because of the gracious way that they would teach me and show me through his word and in their action that that's not who God is. He's so much better than that, and he's worth it. During the pandemic, 2020, I wasn't working. I was working as a paraprofessional in a school, and so when the schools shut down, I wasn't working, and I reached out to a leader at the church. I was just kind of serving in like the cafe on Sundays, and not like a real regular ministry, but I said, hey, I've got this time now, like, this world is crazy. What can I do to like bless people? Is there anything that I can do for the church? And so she said, would you be able to deliver some grocery cards to some people around the island who are out of work? And I was like, sure, I could do that. Yeah. So in the first month, 6 deliveries turned into the next month of 12 deliveries, which turned into monthly calls to these people and these families on the phone, getting to know them, praying with them. These were not like things that I ever saw myself doing. And it was such a progression, and it happened fast, but it was slow too. And before I knew it, it was a year that I had developed these relationships, and people were getting back on their feet and everything was opening back up. But God had grown me and used me just by my yes there, and by my desire to see someone in need and say, I don't want to hide in my house. I want to help. And that little yes, he did so much with it. He did so much with it for others, and he did so much with it in me. And so from that birthed me being asked to help lead the compassion team. And so I agreed because they already had the most amazing leader who was willing to, train me and help and share all of her wisdom. And that looked a lot like coat drives and, dress clothes for group home young people going on interviews, or visiting shelters, and just kind of corralling the congregation into, those different drives and those different initiatives. And I was like, I could do this. I went to school for event planning and hospitality, and it just, again, I said yes to him, and he just showed me the next thing to do. And it was very rewarding. I grew a lot again through continuing to learn his word, continuing to witness to that yes that I gave him. But then one day I was sitting with Cheryl, and she asked me to look into a ministry called Embrace Grace. And she said, my plate's kind of full right now, and Robert asked me to look into this. Would you mind, checking it out? And so I did. And Embrace Grace is a ministry that equips churches to surround a woman who's experiencing an unplanned pregnancy, who is single and alone possibly, and to surround her with love and to support her in this time of fear and crisis. And she knew that I was the only daughter of a single mom. And she also knew that my now husband and I were expecting our first son before we were married. And at that time, we were blessed and supported by the church that we were going to. And I'll never forget that. And so when I brought back the information about Embrace Grace, I'm like, Cheryl, when are we going to start this at Beacon? And she so coolly just said, when are you going to start it, Nicole? And I was like, me? It's one thing to run a coat drive and to, deliver it to a home or people in need. It's another thing to walk alongside a woman who is just feeling desperate and vulnerable and not loved by anyone, and to show her that she has enough love for her child, and that God will provide for her, and that he can do it through his people if she just gives us a chance. And again, I was like, I'm not going to be good at this. like, I'm gonna mess this up. You guys are making a big mistake. But now we're 3 years in. And now one ministry became two. Embrace Grace turned into, this is like a multi-ministry. It's global. It started in Texas, and they do it all over the country. But it's Embrace Grace, where we get to, walk alongside that mom through whatever she's going through, financial, emotional, spiritual, point her to Jesus, show her who Jesus is. It was kind of like those breadcrumbs that, God did with my small group, and showing me simultaneously who he is by his word and by the actions of his people. And it's like such an unbelievable privilege. So, and Embrace Life came about this year for the first time, and that's those moms who went through Embrace Grace. Now it's them in their first year or their first couple of years with their babies and their toddlers, and just continuing to walk alongside them and showing them that God doesn't waste a single tear. They're also amazing, and I feel like I get to be like a spiritual grandma or auntie to all these kiddies now, which is the greatest privilege of my life, is like to be a mom. I have 2 boys, and I love it. But God doesn't give us a rule book. He just gives us him, and he's enough. And so a specific story I wouldn't say that I have, but I just have like a million moments of that thinking of like, I don't know how to do this, and him showing up. Or going for a walk and just talking to him and thinking that like I'm just not reaching them or I'm not helping, and then getting a phone call from one of them to say like, I'm praying, and like this prayer was answered, and I want to share it with you. Or having a mom call me and say, I've got a big ask. I need this thing that seems really expensive to her, and I don't know if maybe you can find a way that someone could help me with this. And then I get to come into church and talk to brothers and sisters and say, is there any way you can help with this thing that this mom asked for? And they don't even hesitate. They don't even ask what the dollar sign is. They're like, no brainer. For God to make me that middleman, that like I get to do that, is like, I'm gonna try not to cry. Walking with Jesus is not easy. That was one of the lies that I believed, right? That just if you're going to church and you're doing all those things right, like then life is just gonna be smooth sailing. But Jesus told us, like, in this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. And remembering that and seeing it based on the evidence of my life, especially since I started walking with him, I can see how he was there all along. But seeing that now, it looks a lot less as time goes on, like me completely floundering and just, out in the deep without a raft. And then finally looking up and saying, oh, that's right. I forgot about you. And just forgetting a little bit less as time goes on, remembering to keep my eyes fixed on him, because it's not always easy, and we are still out in the world, and it's telling us all of these things that are contradictory to what his truth is. So remembering that, and then I'm partnering with him here, has changed my outlook. Like, less anxiety, less fear. And when the anxiety and the fear, sneak in, being able to remember that I have a God who loves me and that I can talk to him anytime about it and that he cares. And now there's just been too much evidence to know that that's the truth. I'm gonna try not to put God in a box here, because he always blows it out of the water. So when I started going to Beacon, we were at East Williston, and I know there was some history before that, but getting close to 9, almost 10 years in now. And so I've seen us go from East Williston in this little building, and they were doing amazing things there, and I feel like it's kind of like where I grew up. And then I came here to Viscardi, and it's kind of like where I started getting my feet wet and learning to lead with a heart for him. And so I honestly, I'm just excitedly anticipating what he'll do with me and with the whole church in this new space that we can call our own. And I don't want to have any specific things that I'm hoping, except that I just want the opportunity to show as many people as possible how worth it he is. And I think like he'll do all the rest. And if I say something specific, he's gonna do more than I can think or ever imagine. So yeah, I'm trying not to like get those expectations or dwell too much on that. I just know that just opening my hands and saying like, just use me, Lord, and use us together. He'll do great things. Yeah, my baptism was definitely the highlight when I think about it, because that was the moment that for the first time I stood in front of people with the most confidence I'd ever had in saying anything, and told them about Jesus and what he's done for me. And some of the people who were instrumental in leading me to him, they're not a part of Beacon anymore because they've moved away from the area, and they were there in the water with me. And so doing that in front of my husband and my kids, and it's a special moment. Like, I have it framed in my dining room, and it's a good reminder. So there's tons of memories though, because when you do life with a community like this, it's not just Sunday mornings. And it's fun. some people think like Christians are really fun because like, you know, but it's a lot of laughs. It's kind of incredible to me that it's definitely grown in size. I mean, that's why we had to move to Viscardi in the first place, because I think we were having like 4 services or something. But the warmth never changed. The genuineness has never changed. The truth that people can find here has never changed. And so faces are different, and maybe ministries are different, or we run things different. We never have to do things the same year after year. Like some people are always fixed on tradition. I love that we can change things up. I like changing things up. And I love that about Beacon. But the thing that never changes is the warmth and the genuineness. I think that's what helps the church grow. It makes people curious. Like, why do I come into this place and people really look like they love each other? It's because they do. I would say my life would look completely different if I never stepped foot in that building. I wouldn't know my Savior. That might not be true. But I'm just so glad that I did. He probably would have found me and lured me in. But I'm so glad that it was here. And